Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Ask Pete and Vinnie.
That's right guys, so for those of you who don't know, in this video series we take your questions that you have for us, comments from YouTube, questions from Instagram, and we answer them right here for you.
Let's go. Okay, so first question from Zach. Another great one. Next time I would like to know what's the first electric guitar you bought and if you're still playing it today. Not the first your parents bought you, the one you worked for. Cheers.
That's a good question.
Really good question.
Oh man, shall I start this one?
Yeah,
All right,
go for it.
I have a funny story with my first guitar actually. So my first guitar that I ever bought with my own money was a Jackson Warrior. It's that black one that I still have on some of the videos you can check out. And basically I wanted to buy a proper guitar, like a decent one.
Okay.
And my old guitar teacher in the States, he knew this guy who had a guitar shop. And he directed me to where it was, and my dad drove me there. And it was like this seedy old bar.
Okay.
Like, what is this? Like, where's the guitar shop?
Yeah.
And so we went in there and went up to the bar, because that's like the only place where staff were.
Yeah, okay.
And we asked this girl, we're like, is there a guitar shop here? She's like, oh yeah, let me grab, I forget what the guy's name was. She's like, it's in the basement. And there was like some seedy
So it was a guitar shop?
Yeah,
then.
but it was hidden
right.
in the basement. It was like this sketchy bar. And then the guy came out and said, oh yeah, you know, like, my guitar teacher's name was Nate.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're Nate's friend, come with me. We go down into the basement, and it's this beautiful, like, red velvet carpet studio with all these guitars on the wall. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, I was like 12 at the time.
That's pretty cool.
And I
man.
saw the Warrior, and I was like, oh, let me try that one. Tried it out, and the rest was history.
Nice, very cool. So yeah, for me, the first guitar my parents bought me actually was this Strat copy.
Yeah.
This is a Brazilian make called Eagle. So I just asked for like classic thing, and I was like 12, 13, whatever, asked for Christmas and got it, you know. Or was it my birthday? I don't remember. But the first guitar I worked for, I was 15 then. It was like 3 years since I've been playing this Strat copy. And it was my Epiphone Les Paul. I saved for a few years, you know. And then I just, went to a shop and I got it second hand actually, because I didn't quite have the money for a brand new one. So I just, I went there and it was like the second hand for like, I don't know, like maybe 2/3 of the price. I checked it out, you know. And got the first my Cherry Sunburst Epiphone.
That's a good first guitar.
Yeah, I have never played it in a video actually, but it's the first. It's the guitar that I when I came to London, that's the guitar that came with me, you know. And only in London I got my first Gibson Les Paul.
Yeah.
So Epiphone cool Les Paul.
Yeah, man.
There you go. Thanks for your question, Zach.
Right. So next question comes from Siggy Beats. How did you guys meet?
Right. Cool. So basically, we met at music university. We both attended the Institute of Contemporary Music Performance in London. You know, we met there and straight away we kind of hit it off because we were like both metalheads, both into like shred guitar and everything. Yep. So that's it, music university. Okay, so next question from Canoa's Guitar Shop. What's Vinnie's favorite English band and Pete's favorite Brazilian bands?
Well, favorite Brazilian band, cliche as it may be, I'd have to say Sepultura.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah, it has to be,
Especially cool. Like, Ibria's cool. Who else? Vitalism. They're a cool new band.
They're doing really well,
like
man.
Modern metal gent, but Sepultura for me, for sure.
Yeah, especially in terms of metal, you know. They're like kind of, not only they've done a lot for metal, but they've done a lot for Brazilian metal, you know, like they're the reason why Brazilian metal became like a reference of thrash metal, nice groove metal and stuff.
And also on top of that, their influence, that like Gojira, Slipknot are all hugely influenced by them.
Yeah, they kind of really started the new metal movement, you know, like one of the precursors for that, you know. So I think it's like a no-brainer.
They kind of laid the foundation for that to evolve.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. For me, I think my first English band, it's really hard to pick one, obviously, because like it's kind of where like most of our favorite bands come from normally, you know, like in terms of rock and stuff like that. But I think it'd be between either Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
like have to really hard to pick between one of those two. But if I had to, I think I'd say Pink Floyd, you know, because it's like it was kind of, because when you first hear it, it's like that kind of like explosion of like new discovery, you know, like you barely didn't know like that kind of those sounds were possible.
Yeah,
even though Zeppelin was like huge for me when I was a teenager, it was probably one of the bands that I've heard the most, you know. But if we were to swap countries though, if I had to choose my favorite American band, because for maybe some of you guys don't know, Pete's from the States, you know, I would probably, and I'm Brazilian, but I would probably choose then Guns N' Roses, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. But
I think I agree with you on the Pink Floyd thing as well, because again, Zeppelin and Pink Floyd were pretty much equally as big for me, but Pink Floyd, they kind of moved me more.
Yeah.
You know, because like the sounds were so revolutionary at the time, and I think the thing about their music for me, like my dad showed me Pink Floyd when I was like 11.
It. So you got a connection to it.
But it stood the test of time. You know, 15 years later, and I still have the same feelings from that.
Yeah, man, the thing about Pink Floyd is that the message is so timeless, you know? You listen to Dark Side of the Moon and songs like Time, Money, it's like we're talking about today, you know? So
yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah. So there you go.
Thanks for your question.
So the next question comes from Valeria MHR. She says, is there anything you guys wish you had done differently when you started learning to play the guitar?
That's a really good question, Valeria. Thank you. I think that for me, it would be the main thing. Many things, obviously, as you can imagine, you know, like. But the main thing would be, I wish I had more focused practice. Yeah. You know, like the stuff that we do now, that we learned like really recently after university and stuff. You know, like regimented practice with a metronome. Routines. Like everything's timed. You know, I think when I was learning, I spent a lot of time just playing around, which is. You have to do that, you know, like obviously learning songs is amazing, you know, but I spend a lot of time just noodling and stuff, you know, and if I had a bit more, I don't think I think it needs to be a balance between everything, but I think if I had spent more time, like, okay, look, I'm going to play for this hour, I'm going to work on alternate picking, or I'm going to like just work on this for like the next half an hour, like that kind of stuff, like focused practice with no distractions. I think that's the one thing I wish I'd done differently, you know.
So I'd say for me, the thing that I wish I had studied when I started playing the guitar, because I started out doing strictly technique. The teacher's like, okay, start this alternate picking, you know, so I did that first, but I didn't learn about any other musical styles. I didn't learn about triads, how you voice chords in funk, and like all that kind of stuff. You know? So I didn't know chord theory on the neck. So I'd say stylistic awareness and chord theory are the two things that I wish I'd done from an earlier spot. When we went to ICMP, we learned all about that, but I wish I had known that from earlier on. Yeah,
it's interesting because I think it's a very guitar-y thing. Like we just think that rock is the only style of music that exists. Yeah, I mean rock and like all the ramifications, like, you know, metal, you know, heavy, whatever. Yeah. So it's like we think like all the music in the world is guitar-based music, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not like most of the music, guitar is just mainly a texture, you know. Like
exactly.
Funk, R&B.
Off that point, like when like that's one of the things that going to music school had taught us both. Is that the guitar is not always at the forefront. You know, it's like sometimes if you're playing in like a soul band, it's one little part. You have to sit within the horns and all that stuff.
Exactly, you know? So that's a really good point as well.
So thanks for your question, Valeria.
All right, next question from Tom Wells. Which harmony took the most takes?
I have to think about that one. So I think Tom, you're referencing the Instagram harmonies that we do when we.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah, like the little quick like. Bursts of harmonies.
We just write stuff and harmonize it. It's our favorite thing to do. But I think the 16th note kind of permutation exercise one that we did.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
It was like segments of a scale, and then we kept taking off one note and going lower. And do
you know what? We'll leave that in the link on Instagram in the comments if you want to check it out. But it was like going down the scale thing, groups of 4 notes, but always adding a note and taking another one out. And it was loads of inside the string.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what made it difficult.
Inside the string picking. So it took us loads of takes to get it clean. Well, it's not 100% clean anyway. Yeah. You know, like, but it was the best we could get. You know,
it's all alternate picked, and then as you said, the inside the string thing is so hard.
It's amazing when there's like any inside the string picking on anything. It makes everything 3 times harder. You know, but on the back of that, I'm going to say though. Sometimes the rhythm stuff takes us a little while, you know, and I don't know, it's just like there's something about like being really tight, and I'm talking about just like playing together, like just being kind of machine gun tight with rhythms and palm mutes and stuff. Yeah, it doesn't always come that quick, and I think also that is a little, maybe could be because we don't practice it as much, because we think, oh, it's just rhythm, you know.
Focus on the lead.
So when we have like a difficult like lead thing to learn, we just really put time into it, you know. And then when we come into like filming, we're sharp, so we normally just do it very quickly, you know. And we like if we're playing a riff or like something, sometimes it's just like it's just a riff. And then it ends up taking more than the hard stuff.
So don't neglect your rhythm playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because to get, especially with metal riffs, because you have the pedal points on the low strings.
Exactly.
To get those without any like like disconnection between us.
And then and this is the other thing as well, you know, with the lead, sometimes you can mask stuff because if it's really fast, you have a little dead note in there. If one of us plays at that note and the other one doesn't, then it's kind of, you can get away with it. But if it's like chugging, for instance, it takes one chug.
You can't get away with it.
To be out of sync.
Yeah.
Then you can hear grung 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 grung.
Yeah,
you can hear that sound.
Yeah, that's our term for it. It's like grung, grung.
Yeah, you can hear that sound, and then it's like you have to do the whole take again if there's a little grung at the end. So, you know, that's it.
One more thing, another harmony. We did this hybrid pick thing and then the legato run at the end.
Oh yeah,
that was tough.
It's because it was really fast.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, I don't know, what was it, like sextuplets at 130 or something like that?
It was quintuplets with the hybrid pick and then sextuplets on the legato.
Yeah,
that was tough.
Yeah, and then when we're talking about sextuplets, anything that goes up like north of 120, it's really hard to get clean.
That's like Paul Gilbert level. Once you get there.
Anyway, thanks for your question, Tom. Really good.
Last question comes from Juliana Hopkins. She says, what are both of your favorite gigs you've ever been to?
Thanks for your question, Juliana. So for me, it's very easy, very simple. Aerosmith. That was probably in 2008, I think it was. That was in Brazil, in a massive stadium. I was just basically, I couldn't believe what I was watching. You know, I was like a kid. I was crying loads. You know, easily my favorite gig. It was huge.
What song did you cry during?
Or multiple. Like multiple. Dream On, Seasons of Wither.
Yeah.
You know, when they came on as well, I was like, oh, they came on with Loved in an Elevator, and I was like, oh my god, like that's Joe Perry, that's Steven Tyler, you know, I couldn't believe it, you know, so...
I think the old rock stars like that, you do get really starstruck.
Yeah, because like, that's like Steven Tyler, and like the delivery as well was so intense, like you see the guy was born to do that, you know? It's very moving as well, the performance, you know, it's just like, honestly, really cool, huge sound. Joe Perry had like 24 amps on stage, just huge.
Marshall? Did you play Marshall?
No, it's all a mix. All sort of tiny combos, 5 watt amps, 20 watt amps.
Really? That's so cool.
Couple of plexis, it's really huge. Yeah, it's just like, I'll never forget that gig. Yeah, and the support for that was Velvet Revolver, so I saw his latch as well. So
that's a hell of a
crazy
gig.
Yeah.
I think for me, there's been loads of good gigs, but I'd have to say Slipknot. I think I saw them back. There was this metal festival. Some of the American viewers might remember this, called Mayhem Festival, and they just toured around the country every summer. It had a range from death metal to like rock and roll stuff. Yeah, well, not so much rock and roll, but like I saw Marilyn Manson and Slayer.
Oh, that must have been good as well.
Yeah, but Slipknot headlined one year, and they were just unbelievable. I was like, it was at the height. I was a teenager, and it was at the height of when I loved them the most. And it was when Corey had the All Hope Is Gone mask.
Yeah, which is my favorite.
Me too. And it was like, so there were the pyrotechnics, and when they did Spit It Out, they made everyone get down and do the jump the fuck up.
It's really hard to beat them, man. You know, like, I think currently, like at least in metal, they're like the best performance you can.
It was insane. I wanted to cry during that as well.
Like 10 people on stage, you know, you're like. Yeah, it's like, and it's just really intense, really heavy. And Corey as well, man, he's another guy that will give everything.
He really is.
You know?
He was unbelievable. He was unbelievably good. And yeah, that was amazing. I'd have to say Slipknot.
Thanks for your question. So there you go, guys. Thank you for watching this Q&A video. As you know, we love answering your questions and interacting with you guys. So please keep your questions coming, because we're really enjoying doing these videos for you.
That's right. As Vinny said, if you've got burning questions for us, leave us a comment on YouTube, send us a message on Instagram. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more videos just like this one. So until next time, see ya!